Hi there, it's Nicole for Simon Says Stamp, and today I'm sharing a card featuring the February 2016 card kit, and I have created a shaker card here using components from the kit as well as a couple of my favorite Simon Says Stamp dies. I'm going to use the Shirley stitched heart die and then the stitched rectangle die to create my shaker. So to start my project, I'm going to use the largest of the stitched rectangle dies and use a little post-it tape to hold that down and die cut one of the crepe paper pattern papers from the February card kit. Go ahead and just pop that out, and then before I set that aside, I'm going to take that Shirley stitched heart die, line it up, and I'm going to die cut this from this rectangle. What you want to keep in mind is you want to make sure that it's lined up the way you want it to be, and I wanted this very, very straight, so I'm using some post-it tape to hold that in place. And then you want to keep all of those little bits and pieces because we're going to kind of be creating an inlay on the front of the shaker. So those little tiny side pieces in between those stripes you need to hold on to. The actual die cut itself, I'm actually going to discard, or you could even save it for another project if you wanted to, because we're not going to be using the actual die cut. So all of those negative pieces you want to hold on to. So I'm kind of carefully taking them one by one and placing them over to the right side of my work area so that I can keep track of them. Then I'm going to go ahead and die cut the actual heart outline and those little stripe there from some of the black cardstock in the kit. This time, I am going to go ahead and discard everything that I don't need. That middle piece, in fact, I didn't need the middle piece on the last one either. I'm just going to hold on to it because it's a nice heart shape. It could work for another card. I'll set that aside, and then using that stitched rectangle, I'm going to die cut a transparency and also a backing for my shaker. Using a nice strong adhesive, I'm using the Glue Glider Pro adhesive. I'm going to start building my inlay. So I'm going to kind of build from the bottom up. I place that bottom part of the panel right on that clear transparency piece because it's exactly the same size as the stitched rectangle, since I die cut that from the same sized or same exact die. Then I'm going to use a little liquid adhesive on the back of the black outline and go ahead and position that right there next. So here, I'll move it down a little bit so you can see it better. It kind of was out of screen. Then I'm going to build these two little side pieces. Now I kept trying to make this little insert work, and you can see that it clearly is the wrong one. So I did not line them up correctly or lay them out to the side correctly. As I'm trying to line it up and I'm wondering why it's too short, I realize, oh yeah, it's the one that goes on the top. So I quickly moved those. Luckily, because I'm gluing this to a transparency, they popped right up because the glue hadn't dried or anything, and I'm able to fix that. So just kind of still working on the inlay, moving everything into place. Go ahead and do that on the right side as well. At this point, I got a little anxious to see what it was going to look like, so I went ahead and popped that top piece on before I did those other two little insert pieces. But I will go ahead and use my glue pen again to just add those in. After I got done doing this, I realized I probably could have skipped the whole liquid glue thing and put some nice strong adhesive down on the transparency and simply just laid in those pieces, but I wasn't thinking that far ahead, I guess. I'm going to trim off those black tails there on the ends. And then this is where I made a big error, but I didn't fix it on screen. I'll just tell you what I did so you don't do this. Transparencies oftentimes have that protective film on both sides. Well, I took it off the front when I was working on the front pieces, but here on the back, as I'm building up that shaker little well with my foam adhesive, I forgot to remove the backing paper. It actually wasn't a terrible, huge mistake. It was just a little time consuming because as I'm working to make a nice kind of heart-shaped well for the cute little confetti that's included in the card kit, I'm working to, it's not my traditional just like square or rectangle shaker. This actually had a little bit of shape to it, so it was a little more work. And I doubled it all up. Well, what I ended up doing was I peeled it all off with the backing paper and then had to reapply that foam adhesive all the way around. So just make sure you remember to remove that protective film so that you don't have to go back and redo it like I did. I'm going to use the heart confetti from the card kit, the red heart confetti. There's also a larger pink confetti and then some gold heart confetti. I like the size of this red confetti. It was kind of my favorite. So I went ahead and used a powder tool all the way around the sides of the well so that the confetti hopefully doesn't stick to that foam adhesive. And then I'm going to take my shaker backer, which just is another die cut piece of cardstock with that stitched rectangle die, so it's exactly the same size, and place that on the back and then shake that around. At this point I realized I didn't add enough shaker material, and so I had to use a little undo to release one corner, and then I filled it with more shakers or shaker confetti so that it really shakes, and I like that much better. I'm also going to use some of the sticker phrases for my greeting. I've kind of just laid them out there. I haven't pressed them in place yet. But I'm going to take the mini hearts outline die included in the card kit, also available as a individual purchase, and go ahead and die cut that from some of the black cardstock in the kit and pattern papers, because what I'm going to do is add a little scattering of these little mini hearts, and I think they're really going to finish off the design. It pulls some of that black outline from the main shaker into other areas of the card. Once I have all of these die cut, I just laid everything out first just to make sure I liked everything, and then I'm going to go ahead and use my glue pen to attach all of these little mini hearts, both the inside pieces and the outline, to my card. I'm using an acrylic block to hold those down in place until the glue dries. Kind of just helps keep my fingers out of it so that I don't accidentally, try to press it down and maybe pick it up or whatever. The acrylic block just holds everything nice and flat. Once that glue has dried, I don't have to worry about it anymore, but it's just a little added security to make sure that nothing curls up. And I'm going to do this for all 5 of these hearts. I didn't use all of the hearts from the mini heart dies. You can just go ahead and hold on to all of those extra pieces and use them for another project. But this way I was able to incorporate 3 different pattern papers into my card, as well as cardstock and stickers and confetti from the kit. I'll attach all of that to a white side fold card base, and that will finish off my Valentine's shaker card using the February 2016 Simon Says Stamp card kit. Thanks for watching, and we will catch you here next time.